Hello guys, it's your guy Viera. Welcome back to the Rocket Series Academy. In this tutorial, we are going to be generating the M&G codes required for VMS project 12. Let's dive into this project. Looking at the camper definition, we are using a TITAN a CNC controller coordinate system. We got Mark 1 as the main spindle and Mark 2 as the back spindle. Go for the green check. Stop definition. We are using cylinder, absolute coordinate, and of course we are using 0.02 inch as extra material required for the facing, and we are taking extra material equally for the clamping. Go for the green check. Target. As our target, we are taking the cat model show target. Go for the green check. Okay. The next thing we have to do is the setup. However, this setup has been done in the previous tutorial, so use the previous tutorial as reference. Starting with the operations in the main spindle. For our first operation, we have facing. Looking at the facing operation, we are working with Mark 1 show geometry. As our geometry, we got this face or simply this line, making sure that we are moving from the outward diameter to the center. As tool, we are using an extender tool of angle 60 degrees. Go for the green check. Technology, we are using front, and we are equally using an offset or a roughing pass with a finishing pass with compensation on. Looking at the simulation, our next operation is turning operation. Edit operation. Geometry, we are still working with Mark 1 show geometry. We are turning from the chamfer to the end of the path. Tool, we are still using our same extender tool of angle 60 degrees. Technology, we are using long antenna with a roughing pass. You want to make sure that your step down should always be low. If you are using a step down of say 0.04, this will lead to accident. You want to make sure that your step down should always be very low, like 0.004. I'm using a roughing pass, no finishing pass, strategy non-descending. Looking at the simulation, our next operation is groove operation. We have to machine these grooves and equally this groove. Looking at the operation, geometry, we are still working with Mark 1 show geometry. Our groove begins from this chamfer end right up to the end of this chamfer. Tool, we are using a groove tool. Looking at the groove parameter, we are using a groove tool of width 0.02 inch, and equally we have area of 0.02 inch. Going for the green check. Technology, we have roughing pass and of course long external. We got a roughing pass and we got a finishing pass with compensation on. Looking at the simulation, so our next operation is performing this other groove at this end. Looking at our groove operation, geometry, we are still working with Mark 1. Our groove begins from this end right up to this end. However, we do not want to machine it up to this end, but somewhere here. So for this, we make use of what we call modified geometry. With the help of modified geometry, just by coming down here and selecting end extension, you can just highlight your end extension and then decide the point at which the groove stops. Like right now it's highlighted, so my point stops here. Hope you got that. Go for the green check. Tool, we are still using our same groove tool. Levels, technology, a roughing pass and a finishing pass with compensation on. Looking at the simulation, we got some extra material left. This is because when we were working with our turning operation, we used a roughing pass. Looking at the operation one more time, as you notice, we got a roughing pass of 0.004, however, no finishing pass. So in this last operation, we are going to perform a turning operation, but right now we are going to apply finishing only. Looking at the operation, geometry, we are still working with Mark 1, show geometry. We are turning from this chamfer point right up to the end. Tool, this time around we are using an extender tool of 35 degrees. We are using finishing only. Strategy, descending. Looking at the simulation, we are left with thread operation. Looking at our thread specification, we have 3x8/16. Remember that the 16 is the per inch. For our thread operation, geometry, Mark 1, show geometry, we have to insert thread from this point right up to this point. So we just select this surface. Tool, we are using an external threading tool. Looking at the thread parameter, thread type, we are using UN. Now, what you have to do is just select 3x8/16. 3x8/16 selected, go for the green check. Technology, we are using long external, a step down of 0.001, and thread standard, make sure you select UN and same specification 3x8/16. Looking at the simulation, we are done with the operations on the main spindle. In order to do the operations on the sub spindle, we have to do a part transfer from the main spindle to the sub spindle. In order to do this part transfer, we use the MCO. The MCO has been covered in the previous tutorial, so in this tutorial we will not perform the MCO. Looking at the operations on the sub spindle, our first operation is facing operation. We are using Mark 2 position 1, show geometry. We are working with this face or simply with this line. Tool, we are using our external tool of angle 35 degrees for the facing, making sure that this direction should be selected and not this direction. Technology, we are using back. Remember that we are working with Mark 2, so back should be selected. We are using a roughing pass and a finishing pass with compensation on. Looking at the simulation, next operation is turning operation. Looking at the operation, geometry, we are working with Mark 2 position 1, show geometry. Our geometry begins from the chamfer right up to this chamfer end. Tool, we are still using our same external tool of angle 60 degrees, making sure that this direction should be selected. Technology, we are using a roughing pass of 0.004. Semi-finish, we got no finish pass. Strategy, non-descending. Looking at the simulation, for our next operation, we want to take care of this groove. Looking at our operation, geometry, we are still working with Mark 2. Our groove begins from this point right up to this end. Tool, we are still using our same groove tool, making sure that this direction should be selected. Technology, we are using a roughing pass of 0.002 and a finishing pass with compensation on. Looking at the simulation, For the next operation, we just want to use an external tool of angle 35 degrees in order to make the finishing of the part. Looking at the operation, geometry, working with Mark II position 1. Our geometry begins from this chamfer right up to this point. Tool, we are using an external tool of angle 35 degrees. Technology, we are using only a finishing pass. Strategy, non-descending. Looking at the simulation, for our last operation, we want to insert the thread at this point. Looking at our thread operation, geometry Mark II, show simply this face. Tool, we are still using our same threading tool, but rather this direction. Levels, technology, thread standard table UN should be selected, and as thread standard 3x8/16. Looking at the simulation, at this timing point, we want to synchronize the main operation and the back operation. In order to do this, you just have to go at the operation and click on channel synchronization, simply save and exit. Looking at our full simulation, operation, generate all. So here is our M&G codes. With this, we are done with VMS project 12. If you have any question regarding this project, do well to contact us by Facebook or by email, or even leaving a comment in the commenting box. Keep liking the video, keep sharing, keep commenting. Thanks a lot guys. See you guys in the next tutorial.